Beautiful, high production value. I started my intro with my microphone muted. Welcome to uh, week 3 of our Chasing the Delta Academy Sprint League. We are racing at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, this week to finish off the first half of our season before we go into a 1 week bye week, rest session, recovery session. And then we will finish with 3 weeks for the final half of the season. This week will be our first race in quite a while that we are anticipating rain. Let's pull it up on screen for you to see here. We are currently sitting at a 77% chance of rain to begin in roughly 15 minutes, 20% chance of rain before then. You can see a little bit of the forecast there. A bit of it's cropped by my scaling to get the broadcast looking nice, but you're not missing much. That big chunky cloud at the top of the screen is the majority of what we're seeing. Blue means light. You can see at the scale there, it's at the lighter end of the rain spectrum. So it's going to be tough for these drivers to decide whether it's worth it to go on to wet tires in the middle of the race, or if they can stay out, save a pit stop, and finish the race out on slicks safely without wrecking and without losing more time than they would gain by switching to the wet tires. This is recent information that I've learned during the Daytona 24 when there was also a threat of rain. Typically, it's not worth going on to the rain tires until the clouds over your circuit are green. That is roughly around when the iRacing spotters will also declare the session to be wet. When the iRacing spotter declares the session wet, unless you're an absolute killer in the rain, that's going to be the best time to go ahead and switch over to those rain tires. So we were discussing this in the open session before qualifying, which has literally just started as our drivers make their way out on the track for open qualifying. We were discussing this, I believe, the first race and only race so far to have wet weather was our season opener. It was like a preseason test race for Okayama for season 1. It seems like it's quite a while ago. That was back in August or September, I would guess. So aside from that, these drivers have been mainly racing in the dry, and excuse me, that is not by design. We actually follow the public iRacing schedule in terms of what their weather shows, what their weather predicts. We match our sessions to the 15-minute fixed GT4 sprint conditions. So as luck would have it, this is going to be the first session that's looking like we will probably get some rain. So as many people probably know who ran the Daytona 24, even if there's a 77% chance of rain within 15 minutes, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be raining in 15 minutes. Things can change just like the real weather can. And then, of course, the big gamble will be, as I mentioned before, do you switch to the wet tires, finish the race safely, or do you risk it and stay out on slicks? You might notice one of our graduates, Alex Patterson, has mysteriously left and been replaced by a driver named Aquaman, because he is one of the few crazies that enjoys driving in the rain, is quick in the rain, and actually hopes for wet sessions. Everybody else, myself included, would prefer to see things stay at least mostly dry for multiple reasons: for consistency, for safety, and for PC performance. Sometimes the spray and the extra computations that need to be made because of the rain can really slow the frame rate down that you're seeing on iRacing. Just part of the deal with sim racing. So we will watch our drivers come in for their first timed laps here. I'll try to get a view of a couple different drivers. Right now we're riding on with on board, or not on board, we're following Zach Merritt Misal. The end of his last name is being cut off. I'm sorry, Zach. Yeah, Zach Merritt Misale. We're riding with him in the Mercedes, one of our few non-Cayman drivers. This will be his chasing the Delta debut. Speaking of newer drivers, where did he go? You can see him on the relative and on the standings chart. Having a hard time finding him on track right now. James Jiming Zhang is a newer driver for us as well. I believe he debuted at our season opener at Daytona. And we also have a new driver tonight making their debut, Zaid Abouandi. So very glad to have these guys join us. They've already fallen right in line with the rest of the guys. We're having a great time in voice chat. And speaking of voice chat, I'll bring you back in there to see if our drivers are locked in and silent, or if they're still chatting it up, discussing conditions, discussing strategies for rain tires, anything like that. So thank you all who joined, and we will see you soon.
Is that rain I'm seeing?
I don't see it yet.
There is rain on track.
I think in my contract it states that I can legally allowed to sue if it rains.
Yeah, I see it's starting to rain and I see Aquaman's behind me, so.
I thought Aquaman was the Earthbender.
Oh, whoever said.
Zach, Aquaman's behind both of us.
Unless my display's lying to me, it looks like it's only raining in part of the track for right now.
No, it's raining everywhere.
Really?
First lap. Basically got.
I think Zach's Discord's time.
Oh yeah, there's rain on my windscreen now.
Well, that's a corner.
Now's a good time, if you haven't, to map a toggle windshield wiper button, or make sure that auto wipers is turned on.
Backs.
I have both. Sometimes I find the auto wipers don't do it right, like at the right times.
Little slow to react. Yeah, I could see that. Taking a quick break from voice chat, we were riding on board with our provisional pole sitter, Nicholas Cox, who currently sits in pole position by a healthy gap of nearly exactly 0.4 of a second. Coming in behind him is a driver who is proving to be competitive in just about every track that we run, Kevin Cohen, followed by one of our most solid graduates, Guy Araujo, and Zaid Abouandi, one of our new drivers, also proving that he's got the pace to contend. 0.6 behind our pole sitter in P4 right now.
slowly become a lawnmower for a second.
Senior Kraut.
And Guy jumping to
I got
provisional
a
pole.
0x on that. That sucks.
Guy jumping
that
to
lap?
provisional pole with the first
I think
49
the
that we've
fattest
seen of the
netto
night.
0x ever.
Getting so excited because like Guillermo wasn't here. No one saw that.
I saw that.
Don't lie.
Fuck, damn it, that would have been my fastest lap.
Yeah, I got
Ah.
a 1x on my fastest.
I fuck it, I just understeered off the track.
So it sounds like our drivers are wrapping up. Many have seen the checkered, and the rest have seen the white flag. Looks like Howard Ding is one of the few that's still got time left here to put in a timed lap. Currently sitting in P8. Let's check out the track state while we follow Howard's lap here. Track is still considered dry, according to iRacing. So the grip might be starting to go away, but as far as iRacing's concerned, the amount of rain accumulating on the track is still a dry state. Oh, and that's going to be a 1x off track, invalidating this most recent lap, really sending it across the through the final corner, and he crosses the finish line. I believe he's going to be our last driver on track. Yep, he is indeed. So let's get a nice aerial view of the circuit. Can we bring us out even more? Let's see here. Yes, we can. There we go. Beautiful view of the circuit. As far as I know, Spain's not known for its frequent rains, but that's just the luck of the draw this time around. So let's get back into our voice chat and see how the boys are doing.
Nicely dry.
How do I swap tires in a pit stop?
To go to the black box for tires, and it should say tire type dry. It's on where you click replace.
Okay.
But apparently this is harder than it looks, since our Daytona 2014 had issues with it.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do that.
We did an entire stint on wet tires when they should have been dry, and we were wondering why we were flying off the road.
See, I did the opposite. I was my team's wet driver, so I went out in a few different times in the rain. And there was a time where I made up so much time, plus fuel saving, and like, all right, we're gonna switch to dries. And I'm like, I think we go on wets. So like, no, go dries. And then they sent me out. I barely got back to the pits to get on wets.
Well,
As literally
with
just like
us,
skates.
we thought we were putting on dries, but then we fucked up the actual UI part. So,
Yeah, the timing of that is weird to me.
So we were on wets when the track was pretty dry, and our driver kept on sliding off the road and not knowing why.
Alright, during grid, if anyone cares, my overlay says very lightly wet.
Ooh, it is getting a little wetter.
And we're about halfway through our little strip of clouds here. This is weatherman, by the way. About halfway through our strip of clouds. It's worth taking a peek because after this cloud system passes us, it's going to be back to dry. So if you can manage the grip, it might be worth saving the time of pitting for wets and staying out on slicks. It's a tough call to make, though. About 55 seconds to grid up. Aaron, you want to give a little refresher of our start procedure and clue the new guys in here?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately, you guys had to hear me again because we have some new guys with us joining the group.
Welcome, by the way.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so one of the things that I try to hit hard every race. Everybody here should be considered teammates. We're not racing each other for any prizes or money or any of that stuff. So we want to see like good hard racing, respectful battles, but give each other that extra couple feet of space. Don't be sending any moves or anything to try and make positions up. Be patient. We run 2 races every night, so that way if race 1 goes south, you have a second opportunity to get that finishing result you were looking for. So the other thing, congratulations to Guilherme, once again takes away pole for this race.
Whoa.
Now for our new guys, we do run a pro and an AM championship, so none of these guys have any graduate markings on their cars, but you're not always racing the car that you're around for position. So there might be a grad around you that you're just not going to be fighting for in the championship. So take that with a grain of salt too. I shouldn't say take that with a grain of salt, but be patient with everybody on track. You don't know who you're racing, so just once again, be respectful. Guilherme, you're going to set the pace after the pace car goes in. You're allowed to start your race whenever you feel like. Everybody is going to go once Guilherme goes. We do not have to wait for the green flag. Otherwise, good luck on your guys' race, and we'll see you in 20 minutes.
Good
luck,
luck, gentlemen.
everybody.
That's
No,
it. It's going to be
it is-
slippery, so
It is wet, yeah.
careful into turn 1.
We should all send turn 1.
Yeah, everybody remember, the race is won on turn 1.
And they're off.
And they're off.
Strong, confident start from Guy. He got a good jump. Let's see if I can watch these guys as they get into the braking zone for turn 1. They're seeing spray. They're wondering where the grip's at right now. Everybody gets the car slowed down so far going into turn 1. Got a little bit of a blinker situation going on, but everybody gets through cleanly. Slight off into turn 1, but nobody's in the wall. So for the time being, our slick tires are holding up.
And kudos to these guys. They're so clean and consistent week in and week out. We're not seeing major issues or minus, maybe a couple incidents here and there, but generally speaking, these green starts have been really good.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Kevin just had a little bit of an incident. Went up off track on the right-hand side for some reason. Still pointed forward, still moving, but lost out P2 by a bit there.
Yep, managed to salvage it, and he's tucked right back in behind, what is that, P4 Zaid now?
Yep. Who's making a move on Carey with a fantastic run out of there. Holy crap.
Would you say, so Aaron, we've talked about cars being OP in long straights or OP in mid corners. Is there anyone that stuck out as a rain specialist car?
The Mercedes is generally the strongest in the rain.
Wow. I don't think I
Is
would
that
have guessed
because it
that.
weighs as much as a Charger?
Well, there is something to be said about it being a boat.
Yeah, this is true.
All jokes aside,
Yeah.
though, I think a lot of the weight distribution, it's probably pretty close to being 50-50, where I think the Porsche is closer to being maybe 40-45 in the front, and heavier in the rear, of course. So
Interesting.
It makes sense.
It does.
They probably just kept elongating the front end of that Mercedes until they were able to hit 50-50.
That's what it looks like. As you see,
excuse me.
Jeremy's poking out his nose, looking for maybe
Yeah.
a move on Kevin. I don't think he was quite alongside, and wisely decides to tuck behind. Carey's getting the spot back on Zaid. Yeah.
Zaid. My bad.
Bro, I feel like we've seen that, like, Martini Rossi style livery. Or no, it's the Gulf livery. What am I talking about? On a different car. So it's throwing me off a little bit. But
I love the Gulf livery. It's a good one.
Such a classic paint job for sure. Jeremy with a little love tap in the back of Kevin here.
And that actually gives him a nice little bump through the corner to get around Zaid.
I was gonna say that looked like it aided more than it hurt.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
And you can see these guys are getting more
Jeremy,
and more confident.
I think he barely touched the wall. He should be fine to continue here.
He does have some front end damage, unfortunately. That front bumper is looking a little rough.
Ugh. Hate to see it. It's interesting, yeah. Everybody seemed a little bit nervous to be running this race in the wet on the start. But I mean, now everybody's got a little bit of heat in their tires, and it's almost like it's not even wet out there at all.
Yeah, no kidding.
Despite having gravel and water flying around the track at the same time.
Yep.
Oh! Okay, another little love tap from Zaid there. Looks like Kevin was able to correct and keep it pointing in the same direction. If anybody in this league can take a little bump and run, it's going to be Kevin in the Dale 3 Intimidator car.
Dude, absolutely.
I heard some crunchage, but I don't see anybody in the wall. Guy is lengthening his lead, but Nicholas Cox still only second back. The two of them are currently outclassing the field.
And Nicholas actually has the fastest lap right now.
Yep.
Taking a look at the timing and scoring, Guy actually went 2/10 faster, but there must have been an off track there. It did not count that lap.
And to put the lap times in perspective, Guy had our pole time just shy of a 150. It was a 149.9, and they're running about 10 seconds slower now. So the end of the qualifying session, the iRacing spotters were still declaring this session as being dry, but I think it's safe to say that the grip is falling away, and this is a wet session, a lightly wet session, whatever you want to call it. It's 10 seconds slower.
Yeah, I'm curious if we'll start to see any of those times drop at all.
Yeah, let's take a peek at our cloud. So we're maybe 2/3, a little over half of the way through the cloud. With 5 minutes in the race, I don't know that we're going to have it fully clear the track for a dry line to start forming, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Something else to keep in mind, though, too. If that rain just continues to trickle and these guys are driving the same line lap after lap, we might actually see it starting to puddle up, maybe offline.
Yeah.
So maybe not see a dry line forming, but maybe a more optimal line starting to show up.
Totally makes
That's a good
sense.
point.
And then it becomes like playing the old school game Operation.
Oh, we got a
Oh.
spin from Howard.
Keeping
Just a
it
little
out of
too-
the wall.
Yeah, just a little too aggressive on throttle on exit there.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Might have
seeing
just
these
been getting some target fixation on Aquaman trying to get past him.
Aquaman.
That's gonna crack me up the rest of the season, dude.
It's interesting.
And just wait.
Perfect timing too for our first rain race. That's
Yeah.
his Aquaman debut.
I'm gonna start giving everybody just random nicknames.
It's throwing me off to see the Cayman lights on during daylight, but that must be a rain thing.
I'd assume it's a rain thing since, like I've been saying, they're basically production cars.
Right. That makes sense.
Such safety. Love it.
Guy last
Unlike the
time around
McLaren, just-
clocked a 201.3. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh. I was going to say, it's just unlike the McLaren's constant high beams.
Yeah, the McLaren and the Beamers, I think their lights are on all the time. Seems I don't know. Seems fine.
Intimidation.
I guess so.
I think a lot of Porsche guys probably find that really annoying since, you know, they're always farther ahead. Sorry, had to get that joke out there. No ill feelings towards any of our McLaren guys in the race group here.
Our one remaining McLaren guy.
This is true.
Hey man, he's holding out strong, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Aquaman gets past Zayd. They have a little bit of a touch, but everybody still is looking good and on track.
Good. Aquaman.
Between
Oh, that's funny.
between Zayd and Patterson, and then right up ahead of them, Aquaman, Farron and Kevin. Those are our two closest battles on track right now. Let's see if Farron can get enough of a draft to get alongside. Right now, it's kind of looking like he's too far back, but we'll see. He's thinking
he does
about it.
pull out.
He's moving. Bold move, Cotton.
Oh, get on those brakes. He got it done.
And he gets through.
Over under
Is he gonna
potential.
stay on track?
That was clean. Nice work.
Wow. Good move. Fantastic.
So I myself am not a rain enjoyer, but if there is something good about it, it can throw a big wrench into the works as far as who's typically finishing top three. Because Kevin Cohen, he had great qualifying pace. He's been competitive at every track we've raced at this season, but seems to be adapting a little bit slower to the rain than some of our other drivers.
Yeah, the Intimidator got intimidated. And here we are.
By no means is he driving slowly, just isn't
No.
competing at the pointy end of the field like we've seen him in past weeks. With an attempted dive, maybe intentional, maybe not intentional. Going into that corner, seems like it cost him a little bit of exit speed.
Yeah, it does look like Aquaman is starting to close that gap.
And to fill the joke in for everybody who's just watching or maybe not a part of the league, one of our graduates, Alex Patterson, is just notorious for doing his rain dance and hoping he can drive in the wet. One of the few people on iRacing who genuinely hopes that he gets to drive and race in that.
Yeah.
And so he's earned himself that nickname.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm always praying against it, but not Aquaman.
Yeah, both my skills and my GPU have a hard time keeping up with the rainy conditions. So I am, I mean, throughout the whole 24, I was like, give me as much fog as you want, but no rain.
Yeah, honestly, I would take fog all day. Oh, and the move on the inside doesn't make it stick.
Just over halfway through the race, although I've learned not to trust the black box. Oh, around the outside of Kevin Cohen.
Yeah.
He's about a half a car
That was a
length
good
ahead.
move.
Oh boy, nice.
Ooh, and we have Carey off in the same corner, and now we have
Uh-oh.
4 cars fighting for third.
Oh my god.
Our last 8 minutes here are about to get real spicy.
Carey pulling early into the inside. I don't know if he's trying to stay off the rubber line or defend the... Oh!
Oh, and we have a big accident.
Just touched the paint there. and slipped around and ended up passenger dooring Kerry Nolan Jr. here. It's another thing that's hard to keep track of all the different variables, including what surface your wheels are on. That painted area gets slick a lot faster than the asphalt.
And I seem to have had some technical difficulties. I just dropped out of session, so
Okay.
the remainder of this will be up to you guys.
We got you. Sorry for the technical difficulties there.
That is all right.
Yeah, we can handle this. I didn't realize I'd muted myself on accident for that accident, though. Got a little excited, and then a puppy ended up in my lap.
Is everything okay? That's what they're probably thinking. Our dog hates it when we watch basketball, because they think the world's
Everybody's
ending
yelling.
constantly. Yep. Kevin Cohen is now currently under pressure by our
Zaid.
debut driver Zaid in the... I don't have car numbers on here. Never mind. Bailing on that call out. In the Golf
Zaid is in
livery.
the number 8.
Thank you. Dale
And
Jr.'s
Kevin is
number racing the
12.
number 3.
Yeah.
And a half-second gap up at the lead of the pack. Let's see if Nick Cox is making any progress on Guy. Oh, and just as I say that, Guy spins and Cox takes the lead.
No way.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Guy. That's 2 commentators' curses in a row.
The curse, man.
My goodness. Well, let's see if he can pull back out on track to maintain second place. He looks like he has, maintaining a nearly 2-second gap to Aquaman.
Nice.
While Guy's confidence may have been slightly shaken by the spin there, Aquaman is only gaining in confidence as this track continues to rain, to be rained upon.
Man, he is. Where did Aquaman start this race? Let's see.
7th, I think. 10th. Wow.
Yeah. So he has made up 7 positions so far to P3. So wow, he was not kidding. That man loves the rain.
It's got to be our biggest mover of the day so far.
I believe so. Yeah, he is.
By no means should Guy be disappointed with the second place finish, but I'm sure he's wondering what adjustments he can make to keep his corner exits from getting squirrely like that again.
Yeah.
And surely Nick Cox is sweating bullets trying to hold this lead.
Yeah, he's got 5.5 seconds. And I know Guy is going to be doing everything in his power to close that gap.
Still, his fastest lap is half a second slower than Cox. So if Cox can just maintain his composure, I think he's got enough time to cruise it home. But why did I say that? Haven't I learned my lesson with the commentator's curse?
One of these days, one of these guys is gonna come after you.
Dude.
I know, man. How do you commentate on a race without cursing people though? It's tough.
I know.
It's like, oh, there's that car's driving. That's it.
Oh man, and Nicholas Cox did just get a little bit squirrely on corner exit there.
Aquaman.
He is still moving forward, but
Aquaman, the rear comes around on him. He's able to get back out. He didn't lose a position, but he did lose a lot of progress to Guy, and he's now got Kevin and Zaid on his bumper.
and we're back to a 3-car battle for third. Oh, and Carey's down in P6, not far behind.
2 seconds in front of Eddie in P7. Right now, I think I've seen a couple hiccups from Zaid, but he's thinking like, oh boy, these guys in front of me, he makes a move to the inside, and again, I commentators curse them. He pit maneuvers Kevin Cohen, They're both pointing the wrong direction. Kevin's able to get pulled back out on track. Honestly, should I just mute my mic for the rest of this session? What is happening? What is actually happening right now?
I don't think it's you. I think the rain's getting to him.
Yeah, rain on slicks. This was the whole big question. Like, is it? I don't know. There's not enough time to really justify coming in for wets.
There's not, and I mean, my overlay is still showing very lightly wet. So I'm sure it's getting more difficult to drive on these slicks, but you know, maybe just a few breaking point adjustments here and there, and you might be all right.
And I believe, just to cut in real quick, I believe I just barely missed a pass from Matthew Farron on Eddie Montalvo on the front straight there.
Yes,
So
sir. Coming
Farron
into T1.
moves up into the top 5. Let's check in on our cloud buddy, or not buddy. We are barely peeking out of the clouds now, so I expect the rain to heavily drop off or even stop for the final minutes of the race, but damage to the grip might have already been done.
I believe damage to the grip is already done. I'm still seeing rooster tails coming off the back of these guys.
Yep, and how warm is it? It's 63-degree Fahrenheit track. Probably not going to be enough to do a lot of drying, even in full sun. I thought Spain was supposed to be like, it is great. For me, it's great. I would take 63 right now. But I thought Spain was supposed to be like arid and dry, you know what I mean? So this is a definitely surprising forecast for this week's races.
The rain just doing it.
Maybe I'll just commentate on the rain. If I could commentators curse the rain, I'd be fine with that. All of a sudden it just clears up.
There you go.
I'm sure all of our racers would appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be my new strat. Was that 3 in this race? I mean, that's stupid.
That was 3 in this race.
Man. I do believe I think there's no more drops coming down, though. Oh, nope. There's still some on the front straight.
Would have been painfully funny if it just opened up and started absolutely pouring.
Spain's first monsoon hits the iRacing servers. Yeah, what the heck? Okay, we got Eddie looking at a potential move on Kevin Cohen coming into the final couple of laps. He's closed the gap quite a bit. But I'm sure he won't do it, and I'm not going to curse anybody.
There we go.
Does that work?
Will he battle? Will he not? We don't know.
I have no opinion on the matter. Okay. Little bit of loosey-goosey from Matthew Farron. Runs wide, maybe able to loses 1 position back to Kevin. Now under threat from Eddie. All of our cars throwing gravel all over the place from that corner. Guy has taken about almost a second out of the lead. I don't know if there's enough time, though, as I think this is going to be our white flag lap, or it is our white flag lap, I should say.
Let me see here. Yeah, I think this should be white flag lap. In theory.
Three and a half seconds. I think Nicholas is taking it super easy, just letting that gap fall down in the with the goal of staying conservative as he crosses the finish line. Let's see if he lets off the gas, but I believe that's a win for Nicholas Cox. Pulls to the inside of the track. I think that's
he's
it.
Done.
Congratulations to Nick. Congratulations to Guy, maintaining the P2. Aquaman nearly giving him a little love tab. Guy with the world's fastest toe right before contact occurs. Kerry Jr. coming across the finish line in 4th. Kevin Cohen 5th. Matt Farron in 6th. Eddie Montalvo with a strong 7th. Howard Ding coming in 8th. 10 laps down. He must have served some damage. I believe we have a fast repair on.
You're showing Howard as 10 laps down?
Yeah, I don't know if that's accurate though.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. I'm showing him in P8.
P8, but with a 10 lap gap, but I don't know.
No, because Zayd's right behind him. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm only showing Zach with 3 laps down.
Okay. Well, yep. Race Labs is lying to us then.
Goofy.
Yep. But
Jerks.
all things considered, not too bad of a rain race from our drivers, unless you're considering the commentator's curse. Shall we hop back in and see what the boys thought?
Yeah.
They are not going to be happy with you.
Yeah. If they have buses in Spain, I'm getting thrown over under all of them. So, all right, I'll see you guys in there.
Is there?
Ah, damn! I almost got top 5, then I hit Kevin. Though Kevin still got top 5. Good job. I didn't completely ruin your race.
Yeah, no worries at all, man. It happens. And I was driving like shit out there anyway. The rain's so tough.
I managed top 10 at least.
Nice work.
Yeah, nice racing, guys.
Yeah, it's good.
So for our newbies, we will have our second session. It opens up as a additional session in iRacing under the league.
There's one set, but for tomorrow at 9:30.
No.
Yep. All right, he's fired.
No way.
Sounds like
Yeah,
I
set it up
I
for the
even
wrong
sent
day.
screenshots. Shut up.
What time is the next race?
Tomorrow at 9:30.
Tomorrow at 9:30, apparently.
Okay, hold on.
Oh my god.
We'll get this going ASAP.
We could still launch it, I think, right?
We
Yeah.
can. Oh my god.
Oh, there's
I'm
an
so
open,
sorry that I apparently don't know how to read.
I had
open
been meaning
coaching
to bring
position,
that up
right?
too. I had noticed that earlier today, and I was like, I should mention this, but I completely forgot.
Hey,
I
maybe
even had to like edit the session, so like I 100% should have caught it.
it happens, man. Maybe if we
Okay.
wait till tomorrow, it won't rain.
New session starts in 2 minutes.
Perfect.
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Guys,
They
that, rain,
cover-
that was really fun though. That rain session, I had a blast.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my favorite. Those are my favorite conditions.
Yeah, let's just turn off rain completely, so there's not even a chance, please.
Did it was it starting to get pretty slippery on dries?
Let's get a
It
little
was
square.
very
Yeah, it was awful on dries.
I had,
I
like,
got.
I
I'm
had
not
2
even
laps of okay
joking.
driving.
Last turn of the whole race, I hit 17x. I got the penalty.
It would have been even worse on wet.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to think with the pit
It was
time.
right. It was right
like
on the
few
cusp
seconds. Yeah, I know
of
that
being.
time.
So I think staying on dries, especially in a sprint, is a good idea.
Yeah, if it's only what 8 laps or something.
Alex, I believe you are our biggest mover in the race, living up to
Yeah.
your title of Aquaman. So congrats
I did
on
my
that
best.
one.
P10 to P7.
I
Or
don't
sorry,
think
P10 to
P3.
P3. My bad. You gained 7 positions.
Numbers are hard.
Numbers are
Math.
so hard.
It was
He
yeah. It was
be
fun.
mathing.
You're doing
So are
that
we getting a
crackhead
practice
math.
session for this next session, or is it just like straight into qualifying or racing or whatever?
I think it's a 10-minute warm-up, is it?
Yep, exactly.
Shit.
So 10-minute warm-up, 10-minute open quali once again, and then our 20-minute race. And then at the end of the evening, we do a race 2 recap. So we'll go over the race itself and look at incidents or battles and figure out what could go better, what could go worse. Take them as like learning opportunities, so to speak.
Yeah.
Is the session still showing as pending for everyone?
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple seconds.
Yeah, okay.
$152.8.
The track seemed like it was about 10 seconds slower per lap. So, did you feel like, because right at the end of the session, the cloud had basically passed over the track. So I think if we'd run a lap or two more, the rain would have quit. Did you feel like a dry line formed at all? Or
No.
did you feel
I
like you
wasn't
got
No.
feeling it.
punished for going offline? Like it was just all kind of loosey goosey?
There's a few spots that felt like pockets of just water too that just kept catching.
I kept
Yeah.
trying to do I kept trying to go off the line, and I ended up being like I would be able to brake less or like for not as long as the people in front of me, but then there was like a pocket of water right at like the apex, and as soon as I hit that, I just had to slow down more, and it just kind of nullified any benefit.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting.
That's what I felt, at least. Like every single time I would kind of go off the line and try to see what works. I just lose my front tires, and have to slow down a little more.
The people that I've seen that really enjoy the rain racing are the ones that enjoy that process of searching for grip. And I just find it, I'm still trying to get myself there. I just find it to be so punishing if you push a little too far. That's the biggest struggle for me. Like you say, if you run into one of those pockets or if you brake a little too late, it's very hard to recover without getting punished.
Yeah. And nothing's my fault, so it makes me mad.
So, it's still a blast though.
I don't like it at all. I let everyone pass by my side. I let it pass. I was crossing. I was racing. Because I don't like it.
There you go.
I honestly was not even looking behind me because I was like so focused on just not fucking going off track. I didn't care if someone passed me, like fair game, but someone came up behind me. I was just like, hey man, I'm good luck. I'm just going my way.
Yeah, it didn't work too well for me too because I realized my straight line braking for the most part was perfectly fine. The moment I turned, I lost all grip. So I'm like, I don't know what to do.
That's exactly what I
get one
felt.
out of this.
Well, we'll have to see what happens this session. For the next hour, we're under 0% chance, but we do have 10 and 20-minute time jumps in between practice, quali, and race, so it's going to be a surprise again.
If it rains, I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna be an asshole. I just thought of like just being a torpedo on the track.
I thought you were gonna say like play Minecraft or something.
No, I think it would be preferable if I just left instead of being a torpedo.
Well, I appreciate you being concerned for everybody else's race, but also one of the biggest goals of these classes from the coach's side is to give you guys an opportunity to test some stuff out and learn without the risk of losing I rating.
That's cool.
One of the nice things about league racing.
Would have been nice if it would have gotten rained at any point in time in the officials.
I heard a couple guys caught some rain races.
I was gonna say, I think the only way you can get rain in a GT4 is PCC, right?
No, it's active in the GT4 fixed and in the sports car challenge.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. I know Eddie jumped into a race earlier this week and was met with 100% precipitation and was not very happy about it.
It's one of those things when you join into it and you didn't. Oh shit! That was my beer.
When you practice with dry tires and then you have to use wet.
Yeah, it makes it very challenging because you almost have to prep for all conditions now. So it's twice the amount of practice, maybe more, because rain's obviously trickier to get the reps and the consistency on. The only reason why we have it in our league as well is truly just to follow the official schedule, keep you guys on your toes, and I think that builds adaptability, and it's just more that learning and improving and all the blah blah fun stuff.
And personally, I love watching you guys race in the rain.
That too.
I will say the videos are entertaining to watch, even though you're in the race. After the fact, it is fun to watch it too.
Anyone gonna watch Daytona 24?
Yes.
I'm
I was like actively watching quali earlier today while I was in a meeting.
I haven't watched. I've seen the quali results. I haven't watched the quali, and I also still need to watch the MX5 race.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Same.
do both of those.
I do need to still watch the MX5 race. Those are always the best.
The Daytona, yeah, the MX5s around Daytona is magic, especially if the conditions aren't good.
Dude, 3 wide into turn 1 and they just don't give a shit.
Well, I posted a race where they finished 4 wide going across the finish.
Yeah, I love that race, dude. It was like the best finish. Thanks.
So I work as a marshal at like flag marshal at Mossport.
Nice.
And we have IMSA there every year, and I was on the back straight for IMSA when they came last season.
Oh damn!
And I watched Connor Zilich go from somewhere like 20th, almost like end of line, to like 4th.
Wow.
And it was gnarly because it was like I'm on the back straight, so I just see him he would just push whoever in front of him, and then he comes back and he's 4 cars in front of the next person. And he just same thing, just pushes. He just kept pushing cars. It was awesome to watch.
That kid is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch him this weekend. I'm really excited. The team he's on is like that's a cool, exciting team for me.
That team is stacked. It's almost not fair.
I want to get into
What's
IMSA.
funny though is they're all technically oval guys. They're all now oval guys, but all with road sports car backgrounds.
Even Keating?
Keane is not. No, he's a Aussie supercar.
Yeah, I think
But
you're
you have,
confusing him with SVG, but yeah, you're right. Scotty Mack is IndyCar, Shane Van Gisbergen is now NASCAR full time, and so is Zilich in the Xfinity Series, and he'll be making his Cup Series debut this year as well on one of the road courses.
Yeah, he's deadly on the. He to me he's like an SVG, like he's deadly on the road courses, yet also is unreal on oval. So
yeah, he beat SVG by quite a bit in the Xfinity race at Watkins this past season. So it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Plus, they're in a Corvette, man. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Yeah.
Or GT.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Ah.
Zilich is going to go to NASCAR and probably just make bank, but I really want to see him in.
Yeah, well, it's always fun to watch new young talent, right?
Yeah.
100%.
I've just got to learn to like watching NASCAR.
Yeah.
I went to a race last year, and it was still pretty hard to get into.
Which track did you go to?
I went to Pocono.
Okay.
Which was awesome. Like the atmosphere there. Like that's the least self-conscious I've ever felt in my life.
That
Being
is
surrounded
so
by
nice.
like NASCAR fans, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm normal.
That's so valid.
I am the most normal. I'm the most normal of all the normal people. But yeah, it was loud as shit. It was super fun. I was pretty drunk. I enjoyed it.
Sounds like
But
the perfect
definitely-
NASCAR event.
But it definitely was sort of like when you go to a baseball game. Like, I wasn't like on the seat of my pants, like caring about what happened. I was just sort of hanging out with the boys.
Yeah.
And that was.
Are you talking about last night?
No, I was talking. No, I went to F1 Arcade last night. I'm talking about when we went to Pocono.
Okay.
Wait, are you in the DC area?
Yep.
I
Oh,
would have
damn,
gone.
okay.
I would have gone with him, but I'm not old enough to go after a certain time.
Yeah, I'm
No
planning to go.
way.
I am
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
so.
because it's
That's fucked
a sports bar, so I have to, or something like that. So like
You have to leave at
21, but I'm only 20.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's so fucked. I can't hang out with the boys.
Yeah, we did.
Hilarious.
I got
we did
I got
the
I got
three-leggers.
dude, I got 11 months, and then I can go with them.
It's just because you're not
they
old
wouldn't
enough
let
for the
you in.
jokes yet.
When I first moved to America, it pissed me the fuck off when I realized I couldn't like go grab a beer with friends.
Listen, I'm not about underage drinking, but 21 is just too old.
Where I grew up, it was you were allowed to start drinking at 16, and then but you couldn't like drink at restaurants, and then you could drink anywhere at 18, and then you could buy at, I think it was like 19 or 20, just because they had an issue of like high schoolers buying alcohol for like 18-year-olds buying alcohol for high schoolers.
Yeah, that
Because
don't
it would be
seem
in the
Yeah,
same grade.
yeah, 19 is a good age in my opinion.
But like you could start drinking like
Okay, so they're sharing some life stories. We're gonna let them talk about their stuff while we watch our drivers get out on track for their qualifying session here. Open qualifying, same as before. We had a little bit of a hiccup, as you might have heard from your in between sessions with our session timing. These things happen. Quick recovery, and we're back on track with a seemingly 0% chance of rain. There is a 1% chance in 1 hour. So with the session jump, that'll bring us forward 10 minutes, 20-minute race. I think we're in the clear. But if I learned anything from last race, anything that I say as a commentator typically gets reversed within about 10 seconds. So we'll see if that holds up. I'm going to dip out for just a moment here to grab something to drink, and I'll let you watch currently Aquaman, but we'll hop around to a couple different drivers as they make their qualifying lap. Hopefully give each other enough room in our open session, and I will be right back.
my bad. Oh, Damn it. How's that an off track?
Oh, it's always the last turn for me.
I would just like to get a time.
Same.
Well, that's the best lap I've ever done. By about 4 times.
All right, this is the last opportunity I get to set a time.
Thank you, Dylan. Not sure if you're in here.
Well, you heard it from one of our drivers. For many of them, this is going to be their last opportunity to put a timed lap in. As the clock winds down on quali session number 2, Nick Cox in perfect position actually to pick up a draft from Howard Ding. Certainly an advantage, but also certainly allowed in the chasing the Delta rules. If there's
This isn't a good lap, but it's good enough.
If there's a big enough of a pace difference, he could actually find that Howard holds him up and takes away any benefit that a draft would have given him. But that's the risk that you take. Most certainly, and that may be occurring right now actually, as he gets checked up through the middle of this carousel turn. Hairpin. It's kind of a halfway between a hairpin and a carousel actually. Yep. Cox just deciding to bail on the lap because he probably saw in his Delta that the lap was already done. Rather than risking contact with Howard, he just bailed out. So that's the risk that you take if you're going to be putting in a hot lap behind another driver. He chooses to bail on that one as we ride with Dylan Caldwell in the Vlasic Bickle car. Rounding the final corner for these 3 drivers, Zach, Dylan, and Jeremy. See if any of them can improve their position. Dylan moving up to P12, taking Zach's place here. And I believe that should have been a move for Jeremy as well. Let's see where he ended up. Jeremy up to P6. I believe that was a 4-spot gain from him. And they're all still driving. Oh, commentator's curse again. but they were all still driving. The rest of the cars were driving as if they had enough time to finish their lap, but it looks like they indeed do not. So they probably got the checkered flag on the session. Let's hop back in to see what our drivers are chatting about.
Okay, qualified 5th again. Second time in a row. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th place times are all like thousandths of a second from each other.
Yeah, shaping up to be a good race, and commentators cursed the heck out of a few of you guys. If you watch the broadcast back, you're gonna want to throw something at me. But I do feel pretty confident saying this, that it looks like it's gonna hold out and stay dry for the rest of the race. So hey, you don't have to laugh that hard. You don't have to laugh that hard. I mean, come on. No,
It's gonna start pouring.
yeah, right.
Please, I hope you jinxed it.
For a race review tonight, we're actually gonna tie Clayton up against a pole and throw rocks at him.
There we go.
I probably deserve it. Don't watch the broadcast. Actually, do watch the broadcast, but it was literally 3 of you guys that I commentators cursed. It was not
Within
fun.
5 minutes.
Yeah, that was a rough stretch. But any questions before we grid up for race 2, guys?
Look, there's gonna be rain in this one.
Thank
God.
Yep.
Unfortunately, no.
There's thick clouds up there, so the track should stay cool, but not thick enough to actually rain, it's looking like.
Oh, praise thy racing lords. Thank you, Mr. Weatherman, for that.
Anytime,
beautiful
Dylan.
update.
Back to you.
Having connection issues, so if
My
you
hands
see
hurt.
blinking, flash at me, I'll move out of the way.
Are you sure? Because your face is killing me. Oh, I'm sorry, I had to.
I need to bind my fucking headlights or something. Give me a second.
Zach, it looks like it's gonna be fun between us today.
Yep. Pretty much on top of each other.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
this
I
time,
qualified ninth
it's
last
in
race,
the
too.
dry, so I will have more confidence. I just had
Same.
0 practice on this track in wet.
I did a lap that was about half a second faster than any lap I'd ever done before, so my pace is going to be shit.
God gives and he takes. He mostly takes, but you get a lap that's 5/10 faster.
Well, I think that you guys will be more consistent.
He giveth and he taketh away.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
God-
Well, I'm
God
not gonna
gives
go
us
over.
rain and then takes it away.
I'm not going to go over too much of a race review for race number 2. Kudos and congratulations to Nick for putting on pole this race.
Woo!
So,
Very nice.
just as a reminder, you're the one that sets the pace once the pace car goes in, and you start the race. We are not waiting for green flag. Just to wrap it up, so once again, we'll be doing a race 2 review. Going over passes and battles and all that good stuff. And then next week will be our bye week. So we are not going to do any program stuff or Sunday night practice, but we will be hosting some fun races probably next Thursday. So if there's any interest, let us know and we'll be putting something together.
Let's take the Caymans on a dirt track.
Let's do the mountain again.
Multi-class V and F4 again?
We're thinking Battle of the Wings.
I did
That's-
say Battle of the Little Wings again because it was
Yeah.
a lot
On
of
dirt
fun.
track?
No,
Dirt track would be
it'll be
crazy.
Lime Rock.
Yeah,
Lame.
Battle of the Little Rings around Lime Rock.
Let's do it on dirt oval.
All right,
Let's
guys.
do, big one.
Well, best of luck on this race. You guys put on a great show, race 1. So let's see it again in the dry.
Sure.
Good luck, guys.
Good
I think we
luck.
should do Summit Point. That would be
luck,
fun.
guys.
Summit Point, a rare Summit Point enjoyer coming from Dylan
I-
Caldwell.
I like that racetrack a lot.
It does
It's
put on
great
some
for
good
slow
racing.
cars.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't hate it. When I think of great tracks, I'm never like Summit Point, baby. Let's
Never.
let's hit the summit. Let's
Absolutely never.
You know that place that's completely flat that they still called Summit? Yeah.
Hey, there's about 25 feet of elevation gain and drop there. Come on.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Come on, man.
I don't know. Summit's one of those tracks I feel like it's similar to Lime Rock. It's boring as all hell to hot lap, but it's fun to race.
It does put on great racing. That's fair.
I've had a lot of really good GR race in there. It's like it doesn't fit for the faster cars. Like I think even the GT4s are too fast for Summit. But yeah, slow, like sub 200 horsepower cars, fantastic. We're off.
Now the question is, did he start before the pace car got into the pit lane?
Ooh.
That could really change some stuff up.
Interesting. I totally missed that. We'll have
I'm
to see.
going back to look. Let's see here. Where is cockpit?
Zayd up to P3 around Carey, so he's already jumped 2 spots from the start. Aquaman up to P5, getting around Jeremy. They're still fighting, though. Jeremy's still very much in it. If he can keep the momentum around the outside, which he does, he's going to take the spot back, putting Aquaman under pressure from Jeff Segrist. If Jeff...
Ooh, that battle is not done with.
Nope. And if Jeff...
Nope.
Oh, great braking from Jeff here. But every battle, every corner that they battle through allows Matt Farron to get closer and closer to Aquaman. He's got his nose alongside the driver's side door of Patterson. I saw another battle happening behind them between Howard and Eddie.
Oh,
Looks
and
like
Jeremy.
Oh, boy. Was there contact? I missed it.
I'll have a look.
Alex Barajas putting Matt Farron under pressure. Matt Farron is most definitely not having a Baja Blast. Oh, torpedo. Okay,
Oh, boy.
I think everybody is able to continue driving after that one, I hope. Extremely late braking move from Alex Barajas, but I believe he gave the spot back intentionally or non-intentionally. Nick Cox only 0.3 ahead of our P2 sitter, Kevin Cohen.
We got a spin from Dylan in turn 12.
Now, to be fair on Dylan's end, that might actually... Let's have a look. Yeah,
I'm not
that was-
over the Baja Blast thing, I'm sorry.
One dad joke per stream. That's the new rule.
I'm sure he's having a Baja bad time.
I can't commentators curse anybody, so I had to do dad jokes or something, bro. You gotta give me something.
What were you saying about Dylan spin, Aaron? Was it contact or did he spin on his own?
Well, I was questioning. We James is having some connection issues. He's blinking in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was curious if maybe him and Dylan got mixed up a little bit. But it does look like Dylan had a self spin, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
It's a bummer. You hate to see it.
Might be
We
a
have
little.
Matthew Kolioff in turn 5, just going a little bit too wide there.
Oh, I saw some jostling happening from, I believe that was Farron, if I can get to the right camera here. Sorry, viewers.
We've got pretty significant damage on Farron's car, unfortunately.
Oh no. He's meatballed.
Oh. Did that just happen?
What happened? I'm gonna go back and look.
It was recent. Yeah, it was that last time around coming
Oh.
through turn 7 and 8.
Solo spin, hit the wall hard head on.
Ouch.
That's a bummer to see.
It's a tough corner. The way that the track's set up, you think you can just hammer down on that throttle, and if you're on the curbs and the car's just a little unweighted in the wrong place, it can go pretty south, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it many times.
Alex Barajas pushing his guts out, trying to keep up with Eddie. Has overpushed in a few corners here, running him out into the sand trap, which allowed Eddie to get by, but he's not done with him yet. Jeff Segrist, after surviving a very mixy situation at the beginning of the race, is holding strong in P5 right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Carrie and Zayd fighting's gonna let him close that gap a little bit.
And there goes
and Zayd spins.
You did it this time.
Oh man.
Carry up to
I did do it that time.
Kinda.
Whoopsies.
In that same turn 7
Same turn.
complex.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's hard to say just from the one time that I saw it. Barely caught it on camera here, whether it was too much speed carried into the corner or too early on throttle. But Carrie's now sitting pretty comfy in P3, only 0.8 of a second back from P2. No, that's incorrect. Closer to 2.5 seconds back. Kevin is 0.8 off of Nick Cox in first place and just took the fastest lap, perhaps with the benefit of the draft.
Counts.
I know he's looking for a win this week too. Barcelona, from the sounds of it, it's been a little rough on him. So I'm sure this would brighten his spirits up for the week.
Oh, I'm sure, especially coming off of that rough race 1 with the wet.
Absolutely. But I gotta say too, Nick taking the win on race 1, he is not gonna give that up very easily.
No.
Most definitely not.
Man, these guys should start racing or something.
Yeah, we are about 7 minutes into this race. Not seeing a ton. I think a lot of these guys are trying to get those passes set up. They're doing a little bit of studying, trying to figure out who's weak where, who's fast and stronger elsewhere.
Yeah, and you really can't take any of the information you gained from race 1 into this either, so...
Yeah, that's a
everybody's
good point.
coming in with a totally fresh slate. Does look like Howard is chipping away at the gap between Aquaman and himself here.
I'm sure Howard's looking for a good result too. The last couple of races this season, he's had a little bit of a hard time. Race 1, he struggled a little bit in the wet, so a top 5 finish for him would be really nice.
Yeah.
And the two drivers on camera, Aquaman and Howard Ding, were two of our drivers that represented CTD in the GT3 effort in the last weekend's Daytona 24 Hours. So, teammates last weekend, still teammates now, but definitely fighting for the spot.
Yep. Dude, inching closer and closer. He's got that gap down to 0.2.
Patterson got a little bit of an exit, but I know from experience he took an off track to get it.
Tactical.
Naughty, naughty. I mean, you know, it's a currency. You got to use it in the right places.
It's like PTO. It does not roll over to the next race.
No, it does not. You imagine you just bank up like 300 off tracks for like the last race of the season, and it's Daytona, so you just drive the oval.
Oh man. We definitely don't want to see guys using off tracks to take positions, but I mean,
no.
If you're pushing for pace and it happens, then it happens.
So away she goes.
Fat draft.
I would
for
like to say
Howard.
Aquaman is currently leading our incident points for the race at 7.
Okay. So he's got to watch that. We're probably about halfway through the race. Maybe a little over
Almost
half.
at that halfway mark. We got 10 seconds till 10 minutes.
I don't trust that thing because I think the
don't either.
counter starts at when the parade lap starts.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, either ways, we're a minute or within halfway, so he's gotta watch those. What's our limit again, Aaron? Is it 17? 17. Okay.
17 earns you a drive-through, and then every 5 thereafter gets you another one.
Right.
Another one.
Another one.
I don't think we've ever had anybody get 2 in a race.
Ooh. See,
to my knowledge.
I want to point out something here. We're seeing some. Do I even finish the sentence?
I'm kind of scared to see where you're going with this.
Okay, I'm gonna send it. We're seeing some good decision making out of Howard. He's peeked his nose out into Patterson's mirrors, coming into a few braking zones, making like he was gonna make a move. There was no contact there, right?
There was no contact. The applied pressure got the best of Aquaman.
See, so that's a very important learning moment for Howard. He didn't make the sending move when he had a few opportunities to do so, but the pressure got it done for him.
Yep.
Hate to see it for Aquaman, but that is the mind punterino is definitely something that you see quite a bit of on iRacing.
Yep.
Oh boy, new fastest lap from Kevin Cohen with a 49.7.
Wow.
Flying. That's faster than both of our pole laps, I think, right?
Yes, it is.
Man.
And not to mention, we have Carey rounding right behind that. Actually, he has a faster lap. Oh, no, excuse me. I can't read, apparently. Carey's about a second off of Kevin's pace right now.
I'd like to say, though, Nicholas Cox, his last lap was a 49.9 that didn't count. Must have been dirty somewhere. But really trying to pull out all of the stops to stay ahead of Kevin here.
They are pushing their guts out for sure. And running away from third place, 7.5 second gap.
Yeah.
Porsche on top.
The Porsche's definitely strong here this week.
Bring us on board with Kevin for a little while here. You know what? We're going to do a full lap. I don't think we've ever done that on this broadcast. Let's do a full lap of chasing down the leader, Nick Cox.
Man, that's got to just be so tempting, right? Like, he's right there.
Yeah, and you could tell you really wanted to maximize the...
Oh, and he gets a better setup coming into T3.
Oh, is he going to try to over-under him?
He lifted to tuck behind, which was interesting because I thought he had the momentum, but on the maybe off the racing line through that sweeping right-hander, the grip just really falls away. Woohoo!
Oh! It's alright, everybody made it through.
So that gap has increased a little bit, but neither one of these guys wants to give.
No.
Not an inch, not a foot.
Absolutely.
Oh,
we have Nick.
got Nicholas wide.
Is that a slowdown?
I don't know. That might be one.
Big move.
Ooh, and a big send. Oh, and they both survive it. Ah, that was
Just overcooked it.
Yeah, that was a little late on that one.
kind of the counterpoint to what we saw with Howard. You know, he could see that Nick was under pressure. He might have been better off just staying in his mirrors. There's still time.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure there's probably a little bit of that red mist going on there, which can't blame the guy. Do the same thing.
Not at all. Absolutely. And it's easy for us outside of the car. We just get to, you know, eat popcorn and watch, but it's hard to make these decisions in real time.
That's very true.
How are our other buddies doing here? We got Howard about 3 seconds back from Jeff Segrist. Jeff made up a spot potentially with the Jeremy spin. But he's up from 5th last time we checked in on him to 4th place. Kerry sitting pretty comfortably in 3rd. Eddie Montalvo, most definitely not out of question for him to finish in the top 5 here. Need his one mistake or slowdown from any of the cars in front of him, really.
We do have quite the battle as well between Matthew Farron and Zaid.
Let's check in on them.
Oh yeah, side by side.
Great call out. I didn't even know this was happening. Let's see what they can do. Zaid with the fastest lap advantage, but he must be struggling with consistency compared to Farron to be that close.
That last lap there, they were definitely battling quite a bit too. We see both of them almost a second to a second and a half off of their normal pace.
And is Barajas on the same lap? I think for some
Zaid and Farron are a lap down.
Okay, so they're not on the same lap. Barajas seeming to recognize that, pulling over.
Oh, and Farron goes for a little bit of the dicey move, gets through.
The impact to the gap definitely already has been done, though, so I can't see the time gap since they're a lap down. But a little bit further back from Zaid than they were before they entered that corner.
So we do have a gap of about 1.5 seconds between Farron and Zaid.
Thank you. Dang, the Porsche looks so planted through that final corner. It probably does not feel that way in the car, but it looks great. Is this the white flag? Potentially.
I believe we have 1 to go.
Okay. Checking back in on our leaders. Gap is extended to about 1.5 seconds. Barely at the tail end of draft range, but closing about 0.3 in the previous couple corners, right as I said that. Kevin with an awesome launch out of that corner.
We do have a new incident leader, just to check in. Alexander Barajas with 13 incidents.
No. Aquaman's giving him a run for his money here. He's up to 12.
That dude drives cleaner and faster in the rain. Ow. Ow.
And I stand corrected. That was actually our last lap.
That was last lap. Okay.
Yeah.
Congrats to Nick Cox sweeping the race sessions this week. Kevin
2
in
for 2.
second. Carrie in third. Jeff bringing home the P4. Howard with a P5. Doing a little victory waggles across the start-finish line there. And a little bit more.
He seems very happy with that result.
Yeah, he should be. Top fives are super solid. Zayd able to keep the gap to Farron coming across the line there. Got Dylan Caldwell.
P10.
P10.
That might be his best finish overall.
Congrats to him if that's the case. Actually, did he just get a P9? I think he might have taken P9
Yes, he
at
did.
the line because James is in the pits.
Yep, he did take a P9.
Very solid. One more battle. Farron really going wide, trying to get the best exit he could there. He might be. Is he missing a rear wing? He is. Or sorry, that's Coley. Different Baja Blast. Both mats in a Baja Blast.
I swear they did that on purpose.
The Baja got the best of ya. If you know what I mean.
Terrible.
I do my best.
Tragic even.
And with that concludes race 2, with poor jokes and horrible commentary from yours personally.
Beautiful.
Hey man, that's what the people love to see.
That's what the people want.
It's a crowd pleaser. What can you say? So
I'm gonna be walking away for just a moment, and we'll get back into the swing of things.
okay,
Sure.
I'll drag us back in.
I had to slow down on the first lap too. Either the first or the second. I felt like we were both doing stupid stuff, but it worked. It worked out.
Yeah, you had that one lap that was fast as shit, and you were right up on me.
Oh yeah. Congrats to Nick for sweeping the races. Great battle, Kevin and Nick there. Couple great battles. Not as close racing as the rain, but still a lot of good battling from you guys. So congrats.
I think 2 people got 49s, right?
I got one with a 1x. Yeah, I think my clean lap fastest was like a 150.07 or something.
Nice, dude.
I don't know how you guys got that fast. My fastest was a 52.
Dylan, is this your first top 10, brother?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
okay.
think at Daytona or sometime last season. I think Daytona I got a I don't remember specifically. We can look back or something like that. It might have been my first top 10.
It's possible I was wrong.
Hey, I was right there with you. Well, regardless, nice result in the pickle car. Bringing the Vlasic pickle car home.
Now I'm wondering. I'm gonna go look back in my old VODs to see where I ended up at the last races.
So you
I think
can
I
go.
the shit out of Farron. Sorry about that. That was an accident. I just missed my breaking point.
That's all right, man. Happens.
Dylan, if you go to the league and then season 3, that will pull up all of the schedules results.
Season 3.
I would just
I
like
can
to
see
quickly
me.
say, thank you for the commentator's curse to take out Zayd. Really appreciate it.
Don't remind me of that, man. That was so fun. I was running top 3 and I was trying to defend from a carry, I think, and then I got on the throttle too early and just
Yeah,
fucking went off track.
I just
It
watched it
doesn't.
back, and someone was just talking about you, and then you spawned.
God damn it.
It's how it always seems to happen. It's a balance of like we have to commentate on the race, right? But then of course we feel terrible if there's an incident after. But that happens.
So you're telling me it's not my responsibility? That's good to know.
I mean,
I get to blame something on someone else always.
Oh man. But hopefully it's a learning moment to bring in your public races. So
My fastest lap is the same as Jeffrey. The same numbers. Interesting.
Just for clarification,
Oh,
on the
yeah.
start with the safety car, are you good to go once he crosses the dotted line into the pit? Because I was like going, and then like 5 seconds later, it's like the safety car has entered the pits.
Okay, so it's
So
not my first top 10. Daytona, I got P10 on the second race.
There you
Alright,
go.
my bad.
there you go.
Yeah.
As far as the pace car goes, let's see. I'm gonna mess up our camera view here.
Because last race we did start in his first turn as well, so I just kind of did the same, but I just want to make sure I'm not jumping it.
So technically, you're supposed to wait until the pace car is officially in the pits.
Okay.
I think in an official, if you were to cross the flag before he's in the pit lane, you can get a black flag for that.
Okay,
Really?
I
so
was
yeah.
not prepared for that.
All I thought was shake and bake because you sent it the minute that thing was
Dude, pace car went off and you were just zooming.
Yeah, rocket.
I feel
That's
like
why I was unsure. I was like, I don't know if that was clean or not. How do you know? Because sometimes I feel like it doesn't tell you till pretty late, and I can't see him in the pit. Like, when does he enter the pit? At that solid way? Or...
See, so I always send it. I mean, I don't start from pole that often, so don't take my word for it. But I always thought you were good to go when they were off the racing surface. Like they dive into the pit entry lane. So this might be something. Yeah, I'm learning here too. If that's the case.
Yeah.
So
Would it-
I believe the pace car. I'll have to double check this, but once he passes the cones on the pit entry, so he's down to pit limiter speed, I think that's when you're allowed to cross the line first.
Huh.
Okay,
With
this-
that
this
being
pit entry's
said,
so long.
I know. So sometimes they're like in the GT4 fixed, you can actually back way up from the pace car and let him kind of take off. You're supposed to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
a good range of that, but like if you can stay within 2, maybe 4 seconds towards the maximum behind the pace car, you let him pull in, and then once you come out of the corner, you can take off. But it's totally different in the sports car challenge. Those rules obviously don't apply whatsoever. So
Yeah.
so let's call it right there. So let's see where you're at. Well past the line.
Disqualified.
We did
Yeah,
start the
so-
first race pretty early too, so.
So if
Yeah,
he
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get blacked, is he okay as far as the auto stewarding system goes?
I hope he didn't get blacked.
No. Okay, I don't know what way you're saying that.
Black flag phrasing.
Oh my
Damn
god.
it.
Apparently I'm not doing phrasing anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't get a black flag for it, then he should be good as far as auto stewarding goes. Like I said, our sessions are set up to mimic officials.
Okay.
So I'll have to double check that and give clarification on it, because obviously we don't want any of you guys to wind up getting a black flag if you start the race too early.
Yeah.
So I'll double check on that one for sure.
Interesting.
I'm trying to
I
pull up
jumped
the...
with-
Okay, so thank you, viewers. We're just, as long as you, in case you weren't aware, we're just watching a replay of the beginning of the race here. But that concludes race 2, week 3 at Barcelona. We're going to move into our post-race review of incidents and battles with our graduates and academy members at this point. Take a look at some battles and things that happen on track and try to pull some learning opportunities out of those for our drivers to take into their public races. Again, the goal of this whole organization is to get drivers that are below 2K up above 2K, at which point they're considered graduated. So we're going to move into that portion of our evening for now. Next week, no league race. We will have the week off. We might be doing some fun races, it sounds like, some goofy cars around Bathurst or some open wheel multi-class, something along those lines for those who wish to participate. But thank you for joining us for the broadcast, and we will see you on February 6th for week 4 of season 3. Take care.